This is the Kenyan shilling. Even though millions of ordinary Kenyans have been struggling to get their hands on it, it has plunged to historic lows. With every single passing day, it is becoming less and less valuable, as the economy has been taking a beating due to a sky-high economic crisis. However, this is just one of many reasons why Kenyans have been defying government bans to take to the streets in countrywide protests. President William Ruto's administration recently introduced new fiscal policies and hefty taxes that had fingerprints of the IMF and World Bank all over, a signal that the president is keen to implement strict conditions that came with loans from the two Washington-based institutions. It's been said that when the IMF criticizes you, then usually you're doing something right. On the flip side, when the IMF praises you, then usually you're doing something wrong. President William Ruto is seemingly looking for approval in all the wrong places. As Minister Louis Farrakhan says, there's no greater honor than to be despised by the wicked. The International Monetary Fund's Executive Board has not only hailed Ruto's policies as progressive, but also provided loans whenever he beckons. But this is why protesters are angry with President Ruto. While the public has been tightening its belt and paying more taxes at the behest of this administration, he's gone against everything he'd promised to do once he gets to power. Most noteworthy, cutting the country's borrowing. As the protests rage on, businesses have been forced to shut down because of fears of looting, further dampening economic activity. Treasury data shows Ruto tapped loans worth 600 billion Kenya shillings in the 8 months he's been in power, which is more than the 510 billion his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta borrowed in the same period. You see, everyone had expected the Ruto administration would cut fresh borrowing after an increase in its tax collections, but that doesn't seem to be happening right now. Though he's been getting standing ovations across Africa for speeches that align with the Pan-African agenda, some analysts back home in Kenya refer to Ruto as a master of doublespeak. Others call him an excellent politician but an inadequate leader. Others call him a one-for-one president, meaning for every good deed or speech he does, it must be followed by a corresponding bad. To the outside world, the countrywide protests seem to be a sort of color revolution sponsored by the powers that be against a president that wants only the best for Africa. I mean, what more could a country want? But the rioting protesters say that the current regime is solely focused on making things seem like they're improving through eloquent speeches without making real rational change.